Bub. It has been it's been a hot minute. It really has, especially since we've been, since we've covered something before it even existed. It's been a hot minute. And we're here. There is a little screen up there. It has replaced Autumn Greg Fest. I'm sorry. But yeah, that screen up there. Flipped it. That screen up there is going to show you everything. It's going to show you the full spectacular. This isn't porn. I played Marvel's Wolverine. I played Insomniac's Wolverine. I've been playing it since December 2023. Rebuilt it myself from the files. I played through the entire game. Very broken. Very, very broken. But I played through the entire game and every boss fight. I have the cast. I have every single file and document. Like, I have the entire Wolverine game. I don't know if we can do all this within an hour or two. I don't know how quickly we can go over all of this, but I'm going to cover everything I can, because that's just how it goes, bub. This is the full Wolverine game. Like, I want to warn you, this is it. I mean, is it possible? Maybe they changed stuff, maybe they did. Hey, bub, I see Miguel and I see Luke. How you guys doing? But based on the trailer that they showed at the State of Play, doesn't look like they changed anything. And it's funny because they're keeping some stuff secret, and we're gonna spoil fucking all of it. And we're gonna, like everything, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the plot. That's the first thing we're gonna do, is we're gonna go through the plot. So bear, but settle in. Oops, I went all over the place there for a minute. There we go. I want to make sure everything's showing for you guys. You can see the screen. All of this has been up on my Patreon for years now, in various points. Also, yeah, this is literally all up on my Patreon. But it's all going to be here for you now. You're going to see all of it. So, yeah, all dates and everything, like, it's all there. But we're going to go through this whole game. Miguel says, not going to lie, I prefer this Wolvie suit to the main one in Deadpool and Wolverine. He has a lot of different suits in the game. So first off, let's go over this plot. We're going to go over the full plot of Wolverine from beginning to end. So Logan and Jean become uneasy allies against Mr. Sinister and his team of mercenaries. Their partnership evolves into love. You know how I feel about that. And their quest for revenge becomes a heroic journey to save innocent mutants threatened by Sinister and Team X. In this globe-hopping action thriller, our protagonist will face a cast of dangerous foes, including the Reavers, cybernetic mercenaries, the Hand, a shadowy occult organization of supernatural warriors and their leader, Deathstrike, a cybernetically enhanced assassin, Omega Red, a super soldier cyborg, Mystique, a shapeshifter and tactical specialist, Sabretooth, Sinister's bloodthirsty second-in-command, and Mr. Sinister, a powerful mutant that turned Logan into the living weapon. Oh, hey, Kian. Hey, how you doing, man? Yeah. So, story. I'm gonna jump back and forth. I'm gonna try to keep up with the comments, but I'm gonna go through this just, in the effort of time. Escape from Weapon X. Wolverine breaks free of his restraints and fights his way out of the Weapon X facility. Wolverine wakes up strapped to a machine inside a lab, unsure of where he is or what's happening. Sinister, a shadowy figure in charge of the operation, assures Wolverine everything is fine. Sinister forcibly bonds adamantium to Wolverine's skeleton. The trauma breaks his mind. Into the wilderness. Lost, alone, and confused, Logan stumbles through a blizzard in the wilderness until both overtake him. Wolverine is found by Frank, an old man with a dark past living in a remote cabin. Wolverine doesn't know who Frank is. So Frank names Wolverine Logan after someone he once knew. Frank and Logan grow close through the winter as Logan regains a sense of who he is and what he can do. I'm sorry. I read that and my mind wanted to make a gay joke. Frank is ashamed of his own past that he wishes he could escape. He imparts to Logan a vital lesson. Without a past, Logan is free to make his own future. And yes, Frank is somebody from the comics. Come spring, Logan's past catches up with him. His former teammates, Omega Red, Sabretooth, Mystique, and Deathstrike, track Logan to the cabin. Omega Red kills Frank in cold blood. Sabretooth seemingly kills Logan against Sinister's orders. Logan recovers from his death and buries Frank. He collects dog tags belonging to Frank's Logan from long ago, something to remember him by. Logan vows to hunt down the people who killed Frank and make them pay. And nothing's going to stand in his way, bub. The hunt for Omega Red. Logan tracks. See the? Oh no, Frank. No, Frank is Sasquatch. Frank is, or is it? Was it Sasquatch? I can't remember. But Frank is a character from the comics. It's either Sasquatch or one of the guys who can transform like Hulk into a giant monster. I'm sorry, I'm like brain farting. But Frank is from the comics, and he's one of he's one of the monsters. Okay, so immediately the hunt for Omega Red. Logan tracks Omega Red to a facility in Magadan, Russia. I'm gonna probably say that fucking wrong. Omega Red isn't there, though he was recently. But Logan does find the Reavers fitting a woman with a power dampening device. Logan attacks, giving her a chance to break out of the device. Introducing Wendigo. Thank you, Luke. Luke, that's it. It's Wendigo. Frank is Wendigo. Thank you. And that introduces us to Jean Grey. Reavers dispensed with, Logan and Jean Grey head to a local bar to decompress. The woman is Jean Grey, a mutant telepath from New York. Team X kidnapped Jean from her home several years ago, killing her family in the process. She's lived on the run ever since, until Omega Red finally caught up to her a week ago. Jean is done running. She wants Omega Red to pay, but the dampener limits her powers. Logan makes her a deal. Help him find Omega Red, and she can come with him. Revelations. Caught in the blast, Logan experiences a living memory, discovering he worked for Sinister and was part of Team X. He helped kidnap mutants who could potentially become the Omega, an ultimate weapon that will give Sinister control of the world and the future of mankind. Logan wakes up to find the Magadan place in ruins and Jean having fled. No wonder Sinister wanted her. Jean clearly has Omega potential. Logan hunts Omega Red through the ruins and finally gets vengeance for Frank. Then we immediately we're heading to Japan for Deathstrike in the Hand. Logan heads to Tokyo, where Deathstrike has operated for decades. Deathstrike doubles as a member of Team X and leader of the Hand, an ancient order of warriors who use blood magic to fuel their supernatural powers. Using the Hand, Deathstrike continues to kidnap mutants for Sinister, dampening their powers before shipping them out of Japan. Japan is Deathstrike's domain. She's waiting for Logan when he arrives. Logan picks up Jean Grey's sin in Tokyo and tracks her down. Jean doesn't know she's an Omega candidate, and Sinister won't stop until he has her. Logan isn't going to let that happen to anybody else, though. Logan tries to talk Jean into giving up, going into hiding, and leave the vengeance to him, but Jean has a great lead on Deathstrike, plus she's proven how powerful she is. Logan and Jean team up to find Deathstrike, and then, maybe, Sinister's entire operation, Jean's awakening. Jean and Logan drive the Hand out of Tokyo and track Deathstrike to a fortress in the north of Japan. They bond during their journey, finally opening up to one another. Jean doesn't know what comes next for her. She has no home to return to. She's seen how the Hand prey on mutants, forcing them to live in fear, and mutants need help. Jean can help individual mutants that she comes across, but is it enough? You can see what they're setting up here. One thing remains clear to Jean. She despises Team X and everything they've done to mutants and to her. Logan's pursuit of Deathstrike unearths more buried memories. He learns that as Sinister's favorite weapon, he was instrumental in bringing the Hand to heal. In the process, Logan brutally maimed a teammate, Yuriko, who would become Deathstrike. Logan keeps his unearthed memories a secret from Jean. As they grow closer, he's afraid what she'll think if she learns he was once a part of Team X. Logan and Deathstrike finally face off in her fortress, both desperate for vengeance. Only Logan walks away satisfied. That's what she said. Madripoor, Mystique and the Reavers. Logan and Jean have grown close in Japan and choose to stay together. Neither will admit it, but they are both starting to fall in love. Logan's uncovered memories lead them to the island nation of Madripoor, where Mystique oversees the production of Reavers, the kidnapping of mutants, and other mysterious projects that fuel Sinister's operation. Logan and Jean track Mystique's ex-wife, Tiger, who helps a secret village of mutants stay off Mystique's radar. Logan and Jean find peace in this joyful mutant community. They dare to envision a future together in a place like this once their hunt for Team X is over. And just for a reference, this mutant community is where you'll first see Easter eggs of recognizable X-Men that we know. Scott's going to be in this fucking village. Or at least he was. Like I said, maybe little details have changed, but Scott was in the village. Tiger gives Logan intel to find Mystique, but it leads to an ambush. Logan is nearly killed as he fights his way through reavers, escaping on a riverfront. Logan realizes he's been set up by Tiger and that she can't be trusted. He returns to the village where he and Jean confront Tiger. She and Mystique still work together, funneling some mutants to the village and others to Sinister. They decide who lives and who dies. The mutants throw Tiger out of the village. Logan and Jean leave the village to track down Mystique on their own. Logan and Jean uncover Mystique is preparing a new shipment of kidnapped mutants to Sinister. Jean wants to rescue the mutants, but Logan wants to take down Mystique. As close as they've become, they're still very different people, and their goals have grown in different directions as neither is willing to budge. Logan and Jean have a falling out and split up. Jean goes to rescue the kidnapped mutants alone. She infiltrates the shipment and frees the mutants, rescuing them from the reavers. Jean and the mutants then head back to the village. And again, you play through all of this. Meanwhile, Logan finds Tiger, knowing that setting himself out as bait will lead Mystique to him. He's right, and Logan confronts Mystique and Tiger with what they've done to Madripoor. Logan and Mystique finally face off, but their battle is interrupted when a giant Alpha Sentinel descends on Madripoor, headed for the mutant village. The Sentinels are Sinister's secret army, designed to collect mutants when Team X isn't enough. Yeah, when I said Sinister's behind everything, he's literally fucking behind everything. They have shrunk the X-Men universe so much. Sinister's responsible for the Reavers, Weapon X, experiments, and he's responsible for the Sentinels. Disappointed in Mystique's failure to capture Jean, Sinister has sent his Sentinels collect her and the village. Jean defends the village but is overcome. Logan arrives in time to see Jean and the villagers taken away. He leaps onto the Alpha Sentinel's back as it flies off, knowing it's the only way to save Jean. Logan rides the Alpha Sentinel over the Pacific Ocean. Once it's above land, he tries to get inside to save Jean. The Sentinel swats Logan off, dropping him in the remote Canadian wilderness. The area is familiar, igniting Logan's fractured memories. He follows his senses to find a walled city hidden in the fortress. Welcome to Neverland, motherfuckers. Logan infiltrates the city and fights his way to the Alpha Sentinel, looking for Jean, but she's already disappeared into the city. Logan is saved by Forge and brought to a secret safe house hidden inside the city's walls. Sabretooth pulls Jean out of processing to make sure she doesn't reach Sinister. He wants to be the Omega. Logan tracks Jean through Neverland and fights Sabretooth. They fight again. Jean joins Logan to help him defeat Sabretooth for good. Jean and Logan share a reunion, finally expressing their love for each other. Neverland burns. Drawn out by Sabretooth's death, Sinister is convinced Jean is the Omega candidate he's wanted for so long. Sinister mobilizes his entire army of Sentinels against Forge's resistance, but chooses to personally handle Logan and Jean. Sinister knows Logan better than anyone, even how to kill him. Unable to stand by and watch Sinister murder Logan, Jean offers to willingly submit to augmentation on the condition that Sinister set Logan and every other mutant free. Sinister agrees, opening the gates of Neverland and letting the mutants leave. With Forge and the other mutants safely outside Neverland's walls, Logan charges back in to save Jean. He takes on the Alpha Sentinel alone in a brutal fight, destroys it, and his path is clear. Logan storms the Weapon X facility. Everything comes full circle. Sinister has completed Jean's augmentation by joining their minds. Together, he and Jean are the Omega. Sinister uses the combined power to trap Logan in an arena built from his psychic trauma. Jean witnesses all of Logan's past atrocities, but Sinister saves the best for last. It was Logan who killed Jean's parents, too. Betrayed, enraged, and heartbroken, Jean rips her mind away from Sinister's, but she can't trust Logan anymore. Sinister makes Logan an offer. He can erase Jean's memory of Logan's atrocities, and she'll love Logan again. In addition, he can use their combined power to restore all of Logan's lost memories. All Logan has to do is walk away. Sinister will reestablish the mental link with Jean, and Logan will have everything he wants. Logan kills Sinister, saving Jean and the other mutants, fully aware that he has lost Jean's love. Logan and Jean walk out of the facility free, but split apart for good. Logan leaves Jean with Forge and the mutants. Jean wants to build a better future for mutant kind. Logan made a heroic sacrifice to save the mutants, but doesn't feel like he deserves a place with them. Logan now lives alone in a remote cabin, having sacrificed his future with Jean to save her from Sinister. He becomes like the old man who saved him, a man with a hot past, but in his isolation, trying to be better. Meanwhile, back in Sinister's inner sanctum in Weapon X, Jean has found ancient scrolls, revealing the real reason Sinister was searching for the Omega. Apocalypse is coming. Then there is a post-credit scene that actually shows Apocalypse invading Jean's mind. She witnesses him. We have a lot of that. Okay, so let's cut to this next one. Oh, let me catch. Let me. I have the entire cast as well, so you can see who everybody's playing. I take it it'll not be open world, more like mission to mission. There are hubs because again we played through it. Each hub is a pretty good size, but yeah, it's just hubs. Tokyo is a hub. You know, I don't know how better way to describe it because it's not missions. You're in a hub. You're dropped into a hub. You know, a piece of land, and you do missions and stuff that pop up in it. But it's not tight level design like that. Let's see. I'm trying to go through the comments really quickly. But yeah, they're going to go the Dark Phoenix route in a sequel. Eventually, we're going to get there. I mean, if the games are successful. Okay, still got Spider-Man 3 to wait for, man. We'll get that. Dark Side. Did I say Dark Side? I said Apocalypse, didn't I? Apocalypse knew it. Hey, Mystical Green Beatty. Hubs like Hitman. Yeah, that's actually a good comparison. Thank you. Yeah, hubs like Hitman. Okay, so... and then we're going to go over the cast. Again, all of this was posted, like I said, years ago. Like this, you know, because again, like this is legitimate. We had all of this before. Wolverine is played by Liam McIntyre, which was confirmed today. Davina is played by Pragathi. I'm not going to be able to pronounce her name. Leech is played by Noga Wind. Calypso is played by Deborah Wilson. Mystique is played by Nicole Passant. Tiger is played by Kelly Hugh. Sabretooth is played by Brett Gibson. Sunfire is played by Jonathan Tanigaki. Omega Red is played by Raphael Corkhill. Sasquatch. Sorry, it was Sasquatch, not Wendigo. My bad. Sasquatch is... I said Sasquatch first. Sasquatch is played by Jeff Nordling. Jean Grey is played by Kriza Bajos. Might be a little... And Sinister is played by Troy Baker. There you go. On that front. Let's see... I've got all kinds of gameplay videos and stuff. I recorded myself playing all kinds of stuff. Here is Apocalypse. This is the model created for Apocalypse. And again, like I said, he is going to appear in... originally, he appeared in the post-credit scene. The post-credit scene wasn't finished. It was literally just this image. Because again, the game wasn't done. But this is Apocalypse's appearance in the post-credit scene. Yeah, the Morlocks are, again, they're a part of the village, man. Yeah, I mean, like, everything is really crammed into this game. Like, Sinister is inadvertently responsible for fucking everything. But yeah, here's Apocalypse, letting you guys kind of take a minute to soak it in. Let's see. And again, this is our thumbnail, but here's another look at it. Here's our cast. These are, again, very rough, low poly models. Here you go. The main cast. Let's see, Chapter 7, the epilogue. This is detailed script. And this actually even covers, because again, I really go through everything, including the post-credit scene. This goes into a lot more detail than the brief story overview. I literally have all 7 chapters down to I literally have the script posted on my Patreon. It would take a lot longer to read through all the scripts, so that's probably not going to be this live stream, but just for proof, like, here it is. This is literally not dialogue script, but this is a prompt script. This literally covers the big overview. So again, just touching on all this. Mystical Green Beatty says, does this mean mutants and the X-Men were established when Spider-Man and the Avengers were around in the Insomniac verse? Weird. There's literally no references to Spider-Man whatsoever in this game, so I really wouldn't worry about any kind of connections. I wouldn't even give it a thought. And here's the Alpha Sentinel. Yeah, here's the Alpha. Here is the various phases of the Alpha Sentinel right here. I have also the Sentinel boss fight. I have a Sentinel boss fight. Again, little look at it there. I am going. We're gonna see what happens. So again, I really wouldn't worry about it. Will it be as I would, Miguel? I really wouldn't start thinking about it being a parallel universe to the Spidey games. I really wouldn't worry about it at all. At the time of the leak in 2023, Insomniac wasn't allowed to put Spider-Man in the Wolverine game. They legally were not allowed to do it. There is a license restriction on Spider-Man. So I don't know if that changed in terms, because again, it's been years now since our big leak. But because we have the court documents, we actually have the contract. Spider-Man wasn't allowed to appear in Wolverine. I don't know if that contract has been revised, but he literally wasn't allowed to appear, so it's immaterial. I really wouldn't worry about it. We got footage, though, of Troy Baker as Mr. Sinister. I wanted to go through everything first. Again, I don't know if the video is going to get taken down. I don't know if we're just going to suddenly just cut out. If we do, I'll start it back up and I won't play any more videos. But I don't know.
Assume action.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now that we have recording, action whenever you're comfortable. I'm going to be.
Let me know if you guys can hear this. If you guys want to watch all of this, we can. It is 15 minutes long.
Subject has regained consciousness precisely 147 seconds after psychotropic burst to hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. Hello, Tom.
Windsor. You're a dead man.
You may try to kill me, but you'll find me hard to kill. I've spent years preparing for this, pushing myself beyond mortal limits, the very edge of evolution. But my work is not yet done. I want to share perfection with the world, starting with you. You are destined for greatness, John. Even if I had to drag you to it, kicking and screaming. Proceed.
I mean, Sinister's supposed to be a little posh. I agree, Kane.
Does the all question smelter to atoms demand answers before they are split? No, they simply bend to greater wills, and then they make the world better.
Well, his voice is probably going to be augmented in the game. There's probably going to be post-processing. Do you guys want to keep watching?
What I'm doing?
I have a lot of other stuff. It's up to you, but you guys got to tell me if you just want to watch him talk.
Never tarnish, never dull, never break. And if you survive, you will bend to my will. And together.
Happy to watch? Okay, cool. I'm just going to relax.
We will bring order to chaos. Now you may proceed.
Pat. Man, that was so dope. Okay, so you surprised us with a lot of stuff in there that we really loved. We felt like you really got the accent was so on point. So please keep that going, man. Cool. Let's play a little bit on this next one.
Great.
Can I ask a question before I give the redirection?
Absolutely.
What is your relationship in your mind to this person to John? In the most briefest way, like how do you see him?
Means to an end, an inevitability, but a frustrating partner.
Okay.
I just don't understand why you won't go with this. It's always an interesting moment when he says, you know, I'll kill you. He was like, it's not amused. It's frustrating. It's will you please just fall in line? And it's such a petulant response.
Discussing character stuff.
Do you understand what I'm trying to do? I'm talking about perfection. I'm talking about evolution, and you want to fight me? There's nothing to do with it. It's just God. All right, you want to go this route? I have no idea. When he wakes up, to me, there's some cool moments here. It's like, is 147 seconds meeting the expectations or not meeting them? So it can be played either way. It's like, I was really hoping for 130, you're at 147. Or I was expecting 190, you're at 147. We're off to a great start. Then he turns and says, I'll kill you. It's like, all right, we're back to square one. So to me, that the notion of the relationship is one that is tumultuous, and my dog hates it. The necessity of, I need you, however, if you would just keep pace with me, this would go a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay, I love everything that you have in there. So it feels like you know that there is love between these characters somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I want is even maybe more pathos to him, and more intensity shifts, so we can feel like you had a really nice boiling frustration with him.
Mm-hmm.
How can we play it up so we have
there's
a
a
breaking
lot
point
of
without
living
losing
memories
the
and
fact that
flashbacks
you're
in
in
this
control,
game.
that you
If
are
you do the secondary missions,
in control of
like
this entire situation.
I think there's a notion of it where there's always that one person that can just bring out the worst in you.
Yeah, exactly.
So if this is that, and and there's a moment to recompose,
Yes.
then great, absolutely, yeah, I'm down to play.
All right.
Anything else?
I'm checking notes from people.
Please. There's a little bit of that beat change that I thought was interesting, but it's just because I feel it has such a great continuity up until the why. The pain I expected, that's fine. That's not a moment to get close. I love
Mystic
the
says I'm not an
moment
X-Men
where
guy.
it's,
Sinister usually
I'm
part of
gonna
Weapon X.
maintain my
Nope,
distance
never.
from you until
They
you get
really
under my
shrunk
skin.
this
Yep, that's
universe.
it.
Like
That's it.
Insomniac really shrunk
All
the
right,
X-Men. They
once
made
again,
Sinister
actions on your
responsible
time. Thanks.
for everything. Like I mean, like the Reavers, he's inadvertently responsible for the Morlocks. He's responsible for Weapon X. He's responsible for the Sentinels. I don't like it. I really don't like it. But I'm a huge X-Men fan, so like that has an effect on me. Like I'm a big X-Men fan.
147 seconds after psychotropic bursts to the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. Hello, George.
Windsor. You're a dead man.
You may try to kill me, but you will find me.
No, Sinister was directly tied into the Summers family. Sinister and the Summers
I've been
were
preparing
that's literally the plot of this game is the story of Scott Summers.
Myself.
Like they literally
Beyond the
just
bounds of
took
mortality.
everything
Even the
that
edge
was written for
of
Scott Summers
evolution.
and gave it to Wolverine, and then put in Weapon X too.
My work is
Oh yeah, I agree with you, Luke. And again, it continues to make the universe really small. Like
wish to
we
share
lose so
perfection
much of
with
Jean's
the world.
history with her parents over a really Hollywood decision. And I don't like Hollywood decisions. It feels way too Hollywood.
You are destined for greatness. And I will drag you to it. Kicking and screaming, if I must. Proceed. Why?
Okay, we still got about 6 minutes left.
Does the all question the smelter? Do atoms demand answers before they are split? No! They simply bend to greater wills, and then they make the world better! Do you want to know what I'm doing? I am forging you into a weapon. One that will never tarnish, never dull, never break. And if you survive, you will bend to me. And together, we will bring order to chaos. Now you may continue.
Cut.
How much fun are you having, Harley? Come on.
Last week of my life.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, could you jump in on a take three? I don't. Maybe you have an idea for a take three.
Yeah, no, I do. I'd love. I mean, look, I'm loving everything that you've given us so far. I'd love to check the range and let's take them in the opposite direction.
Great.
Rather than starting to break in anger, let's take it from this way of there's something beneath this. There's a desperation beneath this. You need this to happen. Almost.
Let's
to the
see. Luke
extent, think of
says,
what
"I hate this trend that Wolverine is the main character of the X-Men." Oh
this
yeah, I
is
can't stand it
quite
either.
possibly your
It's just
last
boring.
chance
And
of
again,
seeing
like you're gonna hear me
what you're
repeat
doing
this.
to this man.
It shrinks the universe.
You were
Where the
willing
fuck did it
to
come from? The movie.
Tear this man
Well,
down
it
to
came from
absolutely
Bryan
nothing
Singer,
to build him
who,
because he's
he was a
going
gay
to
guy,
save
which is not wrong that he's gay. But clearly, he had, like, he wanted to get. I mean, well, Hugh Jackman even said that Bryan Singer tried to sexually assault him. So. And then Bryan Singer is a pedophile. Bryan Singer is an actual pedophile who raped underage boys. But yeah, like Bryan Singer started it because of his crush, and then that was it.
Patient has regained consciousness precisely 147 seconds after psychotropic dose to the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. Hello, John.
You're a dead man.
You may try to kill me, but you will find me hard to kill. I've been preparing for this for years, pushing myself beyond the bounds of mortality, to the very edge of evolution.
Cyclops is a really.
My work is not yet finished.
He just gets wasted.
I wish to share perfection with the world. Starting with you. You see,
Miguel,
John,
I really think you're overthinking a lot of the other lore. I really
you
would
are
like
destined for greatness. But I will drag you to it, kicking and screaming if I must. Please proceed. Does the ore question the smelter? Do atoms demand answers before they are split? No. They simply bend to greater wills.
Wolverine says, to be honest, Cyclops is a great
Then we
leader,
make
but
the
he's
world
bland.
better.
Jean and Cyclops are some of the most boring characters, so I can see why they always mess them up. Yeah, nobody knows how to write them.
Do you want to know what I'm doing?
I have fan fiction.
I am forging you into a weapon.
It's X-Men. Of course I have fan fiction. I grew up an X-Men fan. I have fan fiction from when I was a teenager. Like,
Tarnish.
you can make Cyclops and Jean interesting.
And never.
Okay. Just about a minute left of this footage, and we're at 35 minutes.
That's what I'm doing. And if
Scott
you
was
survive,
Austin Morrison and Quitleys? I don't
You
know. How to
will
say it.
bend
I know
to
who
me.
he is, but I don't know if I'm saying it right. New X-Men.
together we shall bring
He was
order to
pretty good in that. There was some stuff that I didn't like, but he was better in that than he had been in other stuff in the past.
Now you may continue.
Cut.
I really like Cyclops and X-Men Evolution.
It's awesome, dude.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
I mean, you gave us 3 completely different takes. I know you came in with what you had prepared. You took everything we had.
I'm gonna go on and pause it there because I mean, you know, it's just them. They just finished up talking. Again, here is some mutants: Mercury, Prism, Multiple Man, and Nature Girl. All of them are a part of the village. They're all a part of the village. Yes, Miguel, you are right about that. Luke, I do recommend it. The new X-Men run is worth reading. But again, here's more art. Oh, dialogue.
So you're the other Logan. Paw prints, bear tracks. They're fresh, maybe up and over. And climb up here. Waterfall's frozen solid. Might hold me. Almost. Try that again. Found the tracks. I hear ya. Found ya. Losing a lot of blood. Eyes is too thin for me. Gotta find another way across. Those
Multiple
rocks up
Man
there, that'll
becomes
hold me.
evil. He doesn't start that way, and he's not evil anymore.
Tracks. Went this way. Went this way. Lost it. Lost it. Where are the tracks? Where are the tracks? Found him. Found him. Got him. Got him. Follow me. Follow me.
I
Yup,
did too, Miguel.
yup.
I liked that.
Lost the trail. Lost the trail. Gotta find the scent. Gotta find the scent. There. There. Found
Again,
it.
this is all players clicking. This is all kinds of...
Bunch of animals came through here. Lost the caribou.
I have a
scent.
ton of this. I don't know if
Find
it's
it
all
again.
worth listening
Bunch of
to.
animals came through here. Lost the caribou scent. Gotta find it again. That's a bear. Caribou blood. Where to go?
Okay. Gotta find the scent. Here is Wolverine fighting the Alpha Sentinel. I just realized my name is over it, but there it is up there. Neverland concept art. Again, my name is over it. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Again, I some of the images, some things are awkwardly sized. I had to work with what I could find. That's what she said. Jean Grey concept art as well. Again, there's Jean breaking out and there's the fight against the hand. Here is a scene from the opening of the game where Logan makes his escape. Yes, he is in undies. X-Men Evolution is amazing. Mystical Green Beanie says, isn't Magneto reborn from his own fetus at one point? Maybe that's how they can keep him young in the games and MCU. Again, a lot. I hope they don't worry about it. Again, here is Jean flying. Because again, Jean Grey is a playable character. She has her psionic abilities. She is a secondary player. She is playable 100% in this game. They're clearly hiding her. I guess they want it to be a surprise. It's not if you watch this. But anyway, does he not get the Weapon X program? What do you mean, Logan? Or Wolverine? Fucking, what's your fucking name? What you talking about? Wrong button. Okay. I mean, Weapon X costume. Oh no, he does have that. He does. That's unlockable. You do get that skin where he has the helmet. Are they going to do the Jim Lee swimsuit costume with Logan's banana hammock and Jane's micro bikini asking for a friend? No, at least because again, this game was in development before those swimsuit costumes even existed. At the build that I have, all the costumes, there are no sexy swimsuit costumes. So only Logan in his underwear, which doesn't technically count. Just, Logan in his Weapon X, breaking free. Let's see. I've got a few boss fights. I've got some actions and stuff here. Again, there is no... I'm not hiding any sound. This is what happens when you're putting together a game. When you're compiling a game yourself from leaks, not everything had audio, just to be as frank as possible. Audio didn't always work. It's just how it was. If you were a patron at the time when we did Patreon live streams, you would have seen all of this live. There was never any audio. It's just the way it works. But yeah, here's the Wolverine versus Sabretooth boss fight. Enjoy. And again, like I said, there's no audio. I had to really shittily do all of this with a PlayStation. Like, again, a PlayStation controller, PS4 controller, just to try to compile and get it to work. Yeah, his eyes are supposed to be glowing in the night. Like, because again, there's no effects here. There's no lighting. There's no atmosphere. So, by all means, we can judge the story because I don't like the story. I don't like the narrative, but don't judge the look of this. Like, this is an early compiled game. Don't judge its appearance, but by all means, you can judge the fucking story. Anyway, is Sabretooth his brother like the movies or son like the Ultimate Universe? It's not overtly touched on in anything that I was able to, in anything I played. Like, now again, to every exact detail, every piece of dialogue is not a, every piece of dialogue isn't accounted for. That's just simply put. I know in some canons and in some retcons, Sabretooth and Logan are like actual brothers. I don't know which route the game is going to take. And like I said, not everything had audio. But here's the boss fight against Lady Deathstrike. And again, there's no textures. You just got to deal with it. Not every level was created equal or worked equally. But yeah. But basically there you can I can load up. I could load up. It sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Which is why we're doing it over. Oh. That was the game, not the stream, just so we're clear. But yeah. I didn't want to spend all night trying to get the game to work, so I just figured all this is in my Patreon, so it was like, you can all see it through there. I meant I could show you it all through there. But yeah, it's just a bunch of grunting and speaking in Japanese, so I'm gonna kind of turn it down a little bit. It's not super imperative, super story. Yeah. Oh, Kingdom Hatsu. Sorry. Final Fantasy. There's a scene in Scary Movie 3, or is it 3? I don't know which one it is. Fuck it. Maybe 2, where they are parodying not The Ring, but the other Japanese movie. I can't remember the name of it. I don't give a fuck. And she's talking to the Japanese ghost, and they're just saying like Japanese, like they're saying like teriyaki. They're saying like really stupid fucking words. Like they're not speaking Japanese. Ever so often they will, like domo arigato teriyaki rice bowl. They talk like, and it's funny. But yeah. Again, this is not a stylization choice. This just looks really, none to be done about it. With the little Asian boy on the stairs. Yes, Luke, that's it. Benihana Teriyaki. Okay, I'm not the only person who's seen that movie. Woo! I didn't know, because I know you guys are kind of younger, and not all of you are in America, so I don't even know if that even has an audience. But anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, it fucked up. Skip. There we go. Yeah. Again, remember, it's not going to be a black and white stylized game. I feel like somebody's going to jump in the middle of this video and be like, what are they doing to Wolverine? It's like, motherfucker, don't pay fucking attention. Just like Radio Doc doesn't pay any fucking attention to anything I post in the Discord. I don't remember those movies that well. That's fine. You're a kid. I don't even think you were born when the first one came out. But anyway, fight. And then it bugs out. Let's go to Omega Red. Quick look at him. There we go. Again, Sabretooth. Establishing shot from a Sabretooth cinematic. Mystical Green Beanie says, I quoted that scene in my Japanese class in high school. One of my teachers laughed. Oh, nice. Benihana teriyaki. Establishing shot of Jean Grey. There we go. Can't really see her because of my watermark. Wolverine carrying somebody. That's not really that exciting. Again, more of Sinister. Again, he looks like Sinister. Mystique. Really, really crappy quality, but there is Mystique. Again, you recognize her very easily. But the model, really, really crappy quality. Again, another look at Jean. Slightly higher res, slightly better looking model. Jean concept art. Again, an homage to her animated series costume, and then some other looks that I can't really say I'm a fan of. But I think it's cool that they homaged her costume, because again, she's gonna, if in the multiplayer X-Men game, she's gonna get that look, or some version of that. Obviously they can change it. Here's the pitch for Jean Grey's combat. Jean Grey is your primary ally and with you for 8 to 10 missions in the game. She can walk and talk, she can traverse on ground, she can fly, and she has action, combat, and stealth. And then Walter, human and Sasquatch. Walter is a companion for 2 missions, Healing and Institute. He can walk and talk as a human, and he can traverse, and he has action, combat when he transforms into Sasquatch. Here's Wolverine's combat. The buttons to press. Again, some cut together stuff. Here is the Sentinel model. Here is the full Alpha Sentinel model. Again, here's the different Reaver types. There's the first one. Here is another Reaver enemy type. And then here's another Reaver. This is the Tracker. Gene Pitch. I know. Let's see. Ah, no. Here is the full Wolverine design pitch. Oh, Miss Greenbee's got to go make some dinner. Bye. Thank you for joining us. Okay. So, content overview. Missions, mission demo, hubs, and side content. And again, you can see Wolverine down there in the Weapon X facility. 40 missions, 15 hours total. 30 instances, and 10 open world. Average of 17 minutes of gameplay, average of 6 minutes worth of cinematics. Gameplay types, action combat. This is basically a kind of report and a pitch document that Insomniac would pitch to Sony. This is what they pitched to Sony and Marvel, basically. So 40 missions, 15 hours total. No, the X-Men do not exist in this game. There are no X-Men in this game. There's no First Class. They do not exist in this game. There is only an ending. Jean looks about 26. She is, I think she's between 18 and 21 because they had to make her an adult so that the relationship with Logan wasn't weird. So they aged up Jean Grey. She's older than Scott Summers in this game. So again, you can see all of that. And the First Class are adults, bro. Yeah, because again, the stupid decision to make Jean Grey a love interest to Logan meant they had to fuck with everything. So here is 40 missions, 15 hours. You can see the hubs. This is what we were talking about. So there's the Alaska hub with the missions in it, and again the perspective on the bosses. There's the Shinjuku hub, the Madripoor hub, and the Avalon hub, and it takes you through it. So all the different kinds of the potential missions that would be at play there. First Class were technically all teenagers. Yeah, the First Class were all supposed to be 15 years old, and in the original comics, they're all about 15. So Gala mission demo. Develop one mission as representative quality, proving vision and pillars with the promise of a Game of the Year title in 2026. Again, all of this we leaked all of this before there was any trailer today. This has been up on our Patreon for years, just as a reminder. So 2 mission teams. Design representative is March 2024. Art audio representative is June 2024. Features stealth infiltration, action combat, Jean Grey ally, exotic traversal chase, and the Death Strike boss fight. And again, they are promising that Wolverine will be a Game of the Year title. So that was in their design pitch. And basically, I do have some contracts and stuff as well. I'm not going to share those because of the names, and I think that gets a little too personal. But yeah, Insomniac is going to take a huge hit if Wolverine is not Game of the Year in 2026. Gala's in the Hellfire Club? No, Gala as just in a fancy location. It has no relation to it. We played through the entire Gala. So I don't know who's lurking. No idea who's lurking and who's watching. I assume somebody who's probably taking notes and is going to steal all of this and then claim credit. So anyway, promise of the Game of the Year 2026 title. That's a big one. I don't really know. I don't think they're going to get it. I feel bad. Hubs and shared spaces. Hubs are large spaces that support multiple missions, activities, fast travel vehicles, the motorcycle, and a boat, and pedestrians. Shinjuku is 8 tiles. Madripoor is 12 tiles. Shared spaces are small spaces that are shared by multiple missions. Alaska and Avalon each have 2 to 4 titles each. Side content. Discovery through senses and exploration. Living memory is a puzzle. Bounties is traversal. Jobs is combat. So again, Logan can be a bounty hunter. Logan going to get nominated and not win anything like their last 2 games. It depends on how competitive 2026 is. It might not even get nominated. Well, no, I can't say that. Sony's probably going to pay for a nomination because Sony paid for Spider-Man to get nominated. Again, it's in the documents. We have proof that Insomniac had deals with companies to go easy on their games. We literally have the we have it. Collectibles, salvage for suit crafting and lore items. We are looking for new ideas for both categories. Core mechanics. Again, combat, stealth, traversal, senses progression. We're kind of through all this. Combat abilities. Blah, 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 blah. Honestly, we get it. More combat abilities. The health system, he regenerates. There's ghost health. When Logan is damaged, health loss is recoverable for a short window. And then again, the stealth features, you know, you can climb up to trees and you can hide in trees and you can hide in bushes, kind of very Metal Gear. Wall climbing. So basically Wolverine is like a smorgasbord of all kinds of other different game mechanics. It's got a little bit of Metal Gear. It's a little bit of Spider-Man. He's wall crawling, you know, instead of web slinging, he's wall crawling and he can leap, you know, in a single bound. And then he can climb up trees and he can hide in things and he can hide up things, you know, all kinds of different things like that. He has all of his enhanced senses to help tracking and to help with the bounty hunter missions. Ability progression in suits. Unlock new suits in missions or by collecting salvage to craft new suits and suit mods. Suit mods can be equipped on all suits. Some suits come with suit mods. Again, this is where the Insomniac Spider-Man kind of filters in. And no bike in the hubs. No, the motorcycle is you can have the motorcycle in every city hub, not in the Alaska hub. Or at least it wasn't when I played. The motorcycle is not in like the snowy hubs that there's no city, but in Madripoor and in Japan, the motorcycle and the boat are both complete. You can ride on both of them. You could at this point in the game anyway. I don't think they would have removed those features. Playable Jean Grey, which they did not announce or even tease, and bam! Here you go. Jean Grey is a hybrid range and melee fighter that uses psychic abilities and telekinesis. She can sprint, hover, and fly. She can dodge and create a psychic shield to block attacks. She has a unique overshield health mechanic, and you play as Jean Grey in 5 missions. Enemies. The Reavers are in Madripoor, cyborg mercenaries controlled by Sinister. The Hand is in Japan, ninja cult controlled by Deathstrike. Demons use blood magic attacks. And the Sentinels, located in Madripoor and Avalon/Neverland. At some point, I don't know which one is final. At some point, they changed the name of Neverland. So I don't know what it's going to be in the final game. It's either Neverland or it's Avalon, because 2 scripts say 2 different things, but it's the same location. And again, these are robots. You know what the fucking Sentinels are if you're here watching this shit. Bosses. The Proto-Sentinel is the Trask Tower in New York City. A half-built Sentinel, melee and laser eye weapons. The player can climb on the Sentinel to defeat it. Omega Red utilizes tentacles made of carbonadium that can stop Logan's healing factor and drain the life force out of his enemies. Deathstrike, Shinjuku, and the Fortress wields adamantium claws and blood magic. First battle is in Japan. The final fight is in the Hand stronghold in the rural mountain forest. Alpha Sentinel in Madripoor. The Alpha Sentinel is a 50-foot robot that utilizes strong melee attacks and energy weapons. The player must climb on the Sentinel to attack it and destroy it. Sabretooth, Canadian Institute, and the Avalon Plaza. Sabretooth is a ferocious melee fighter with healing factor. 2 battles include the Institute in Canada and the Plaza of Avalon. Sinister is a scientist and advanced geneticist that has psychic powers and regeneration. Sinister has both ranged and melee psychic attacks, and you fight him at the end of the game in the Avalon laboratory where Wolverine was forged. Allies, Jean Grey, and you can see when they go to the gala, unfortunately this concept art, it's a little dark, but she wears her Marvel Girl. She has a green dress with a yellow mask that is an homage to her Marvel Girl outfit, and she wears that at the gala, while Logan wears the white suit that he's known for when is undercover. Jean Grey is your primary ally, 8 to 10 missions, and then again, this goes over the other repeat slide. Core requests. Fluid simulations, landscape, dynamic global illumination, the healing factor, a gore and various damage states for every character in the game, dynamic weather system, animation fidelity, destruction 2.0 improvements, character FX, improved cameras, improved character rendering, and character transformations. Again, this is them. This is, you have to remember that this is them begging. You know, this is their budget. This is what they want a budget for. What was Avalon and X-Men again? I don't know what it was in X-Men specifically, but in this, because I don't remember all, I mean, like you're talking about minutia. In terms of this game, I don't know if they're going to call it Avalon or Neverland. Like I said, it's called different things at different points in the development process because I have every milestone up to December 2023. And what I can say is, like I said, it's either going to be called Avalon or Neverland. I don't know which one. Continued support, vertex painting, improved water rendering, improved Uber models, composite shader support, foliage interactivity, foliage performance, pedestrian behavior, improved auto level of details, performance mode support, performance editor overhaul. Audio core requests, sound propagation 2.0, import i30 improvements. If you've been following us, you know what i30 is. 3D position auxiliary buses, asynchronous IR loading, increased fidelity of early reflection system, 3D position tails, tools, vault workflow improvements, cleanup of WWISE errors. Wolverine. Okay. Here's the princess bar. Again, let's just kind of this again, this is all, these are design documents. This is inspiration for, oh hey, how do we want the bar to look? What elements do we want to capture? And so they went to various bars and took pictures, and they even used from the first Deadpool to recreate it. And then they went to the comics to try to recreate the princess bar. So, you know, just to mix it. Again, previous shot. Easter eggs that are being noted that they wanted to put in. More atmosphere comparisons. Oh, a space station, okay. Previously seen. Mood. Again, description of kind of establishing. And a wrap up, pretty much. There you go. Here is some more gameplay. We can set back and watch. This is him in his yellow and brown suit. It was my favorite. Any questions? Hulk is not in the game. They don't have the rights to use Hulk in an X-Men game. Again, we have the document. Now, we have a December 2023 document. Maybe they made a new deal. Maybe Sony made a new deal. But we have a literal December 2023 court document. They are not allowed to use Hulk. But yeah, any questions or comments from my time playing the game? Anything that I maybe forgot about? You can ask anything. I can pretty much answer it. Again, Marvel's Wolverine is coming out in September 2026. So this is our review of Marvel's Wolverine a year in advance, motherfuckers. You're welcome. But yeah. But like I said, any questions, anything like that? I don't know if it's necessary to go through the script. It would take forever to go through the script. Or at least it feels like it would take forever. It would take hours. So that's not something we're doing tonight. But in terms of anything you want to ask about gameplay or story or anything that I thought about it. There's no audio in this either. Or wait, that might be me. There is audio, my bad. Anyway. Can't think of none. Cool, right on. Do you still prefer the duel? Do you mean like the dual storyline of Jean and Logan? No. And again, the graphics are not final. I just want to continue to reiterate that. The graphics are not final. Okay. There's that one. Logan in his cowboy hat fighting. Miguel says, do you still prefer the dual buttons to melee or the one button for both arms? Oh, I actually, so maybe it's because I played it first. I don't know. This might be really unfair. So my preference is I like right trigger, right arm, left trigger, left arm. I think that's really fun. I don't know. Like, is Wolverine kind of funny in this game or just miserable? Oh, no. He's just, I mean, like, maybe they didn't implement all the dialogue yet, but he's really, like, it's really fucking, it's just miserable. Like, there were no lighthearted moments. Like, and I don't even mean, like, in a dumb way. I'm not talking, like, super comedic, but, like, yeah, it's not even, it's just, it's not, I mean, you know, it's Wolverine. But yeah, right and left trigger I thought was a lot of fun. I loved that, and it disappointed me when they took it away. The new build that I was able to rebuild had that taken away. So I don't know what the final build of the game is going to be. But I preferred right trigger, left trigger. It reminded me of that game, that the original Xbox launch game, Star Wars Obi-Wan, where I'm excited. Where the right stick controlled the lightsaber movement. So as you moved and rotated the stick, Obi-Wan moved the lightsaber. And I like that kind of feedback. It's really immersive. So I liked the feedback that right, left, left. And then I got used to it, and my brain got used to it. So when I got the new build of Wolverine, and I got it working, and then I started playing it, I mean, I was fucking terrible in those live streams. I was fucking terrible in them because my brain just couldn't go to just, oh, here's light and heavy. I don't know. I just couldn't. It really fucked with me. Anyway, let's see. Here's it. This is only 7 seconds of gameplay, but it's him killing somebody. And again, it's my favorite costume. Oh, tree traversal as well. There we go. And again, leaping tall buildings in a single bound, all that is a part of Wolverine. All, you know. Hey, TJ Maxx. And again, at the time of development, and it varies depending on the game, depending on what I was able to get working and get playing. Some things are really, it looks like an M-rated game to me. Like, there are some things in it that are really fucking graphic, at least in terms of like rating. But everything about it was M-rated. Combat variety. Yes, he has a crossbow that you get later in the game. He has a little forearm mounted crossbow. Anyway, there we go. Oh, we're over an hour. We'll finish these next couple of videos, and then I guess if nobody has anything, we'll start wrapping up. Miguel says, still don't think Wolvie having a more armored suit fits him because, you know, he can heal from anything. Yeah, it goes back to the over-design aesthetics that Insomniac has been doing. Just the over-designing. Does Wolverine look more fun than Spidey? It looks more fun than Spider-Man 2. And I think it's more true to the character. I never liked Spider-Man having all the gadgets. Spider-Man was basically Arkham Asylum or Arkham City. That's just it. That's all it is. Spider-Man was basically like, oh, hey, Arkham is really awesome. Let's do that. There's a lot about the Spider-Man games that I am nitpicky about, but Spider-Man is my favorite, and then the X-Men are my second favorite, so I'm very nitpicky about this one as well. In terms of the gameplay, it's really fun, and it's more fun than Spider-Man. It's way more fun than Spider-Man, and there's a lot more enemy variety. The level, because they have hubs that act as levels, the design is more inspired because they're not limited to, oh, hey, we're going to put all of our budget on just swinging through New York, and there's no levels, and there's no really immersive design. And that's disappointing with Spider-Man. I get the logic of wanting to have the swinging, but you sacrifice a lot in terms of open world. You lose key level design. Wolverine doesn't suffer from that, so you get really interesting level design. It is not just Arkham Wolverine. He doesn't, his only, like, his senses, everything he does is authentic to Wolverine. The only weapon he has outside of his abilities for range is that crossbow that pops out of his gauntlet that you get later on in the game. But it's 100% authentic to Wolverine, the gameplay is. I just fucking hate the story. The story is basically Cyclops. They took Cyclops' story and gave it to Wolverine, which sucks. But yeah, it plays very authentically to Wolverine. There is no Deadpool Easter egg or mention in anything I had access to, which again is, I want to continue to stress this. I have access to to a version of the game from beginning to end. Every boss fight, every story point, every plot point. In terms of the final game, when the textures are added and when things are done, maybe there's a Deadpool face spray painted somewhere in Madripoor. You know what I mean? I won't know that because I don't have final textures. I have what I have. And it's not a final build of the game. So it's not, some things aren't even skinned. So, I mean, some models are just gray models. They don't even have skin or texture on them, which then you try to load them and they work for a little bit and then they break down. But that's what I mean. So, like, there's parts of the world that are super plain because they at the time of the build, there were no textures for it. So Easter eggs are out. What I have is the story. What I've played through is all the major bits. But it's like the minutia, like every single side mission, I couldn't access. There were side missions that I tried to start that broke the game. So again, just to constantly give it perspective. My favorite mission was so first place goes to Madripoor. I think the design there was really good, even at a really early stage. I really loved Madripoor. Again, I'm also nostalgic for, I love, it's a key X-Men location. I love that place. I think with the right finished lighting and the right atmosphere, Madripoor is going to be fucking incredible. And I loved being able to drive the motorcycle and the boat around Madripoor. I thought that was really fun. I think the design of Madripoor is really, really interesting and unique. It has a lot of character and personality. And I think when that is final, it's going to look fucking incredible, especially when you have a day and nighttime. And when it's nighttime in Madripoor and the city really comes alive, I think it's really going to change that. And then you add that dynamic weather. So Madripoor is first place. Second place is the end of the game, the Weapon X facility. I love creepy, haunting atmospheres and just world building. Like, what the fuck happened here? Because Sinister is really fucked up. It's a shame that they gave Scott's and Sinister's story to Logan, but in terms of just raw weapon, the Weapon X facility and the design of it, that gets a second place. I love the atmosphere of it. There's a lot of history there. There's just a lot of story in the details of the world. Again, when it's final, because it's my imagination is the game is a jumping off point because of my imagination. There are people who are going to see this and judge the game and say it looks like shit. And it's like, you're missing the fucking point. Like, I'm not doing this to have people prematurely judge the look of the game. This is a really early build. We're not judging that. I'm not reviewing that. I can review the story all I want and I don't like it. But the visuals, the identity, really, really fucking good. It's just a shame that it's surrounded with a story that has shrunk the X-Men corner of the Marvel Universe. Miguel asked, does Scott even get a line in this game? I don't know. Again, it goes back to it. A lot of NPCs had no voice work. Some of them had voice work, but it was AI. So I don't know. In anything I played, the Scott model would just stand like he didn't even have any animations. He would, and then he did not. he didn't emote or anything. And trying to trigger him would break the game. All I know, like, so literally, and that goes for Multiple Man. That goes for all the other X-Men that appear in the village. They're all there in the models, but in terms of dialogue, I couldn't trigger anything. That's potentially because it wasn't recorded, because it wasn't necessary for those builds, because, you know, it's not a part of the core getting the main mission done. That way they can comfortably cut if they need to. But Scott and multiple X-Men characters were in the village, which to me is fucking dumb. And Scott being younger than Jean Grey. Mystical Green Beatty says, I'm starting to think you don't like the story. I don't, and I will take that, because I really hope that they changed it. I don't think they did, but I really hope that they did. At least the love story. That way they can make Jean Grey younger, and then instead of doing the romance, maybe they could do a father-daughter thing. You know, or, you know, which again sounds like The Last of Us, but Jean Grey's playable and is really crazy powerful. But if they made Jean Grey younger, they could do a father-daughter story. I say that knowing that I have a bias as a dad to a daughter and a son, but I would rather see the father-daughter story than a really creepy romance that is forced. And my fan fiction actually is that. I have really elaborate fan fiction from 20 years ago that is the best X-Men I've ever read. I'm probably biased. Miguel says, I don't get why Insomniac loves to turn Spidey in the X-Men world so small. I don't get it either. It's poor game design. It's poor narrative design, and it's Hollywood. It's a Hollywood design choice. And I think that's one of the problems with modern AAA blockbusters. They're going Hollywood. Let's just be real here. They are going. They are Hollywood. They're investing very much so in the narrative. They're investing very much in this Hollywood narrative of, oh, okay, we have to, you know, we have to replace Hollywood, so we've got to be 4-quadrant. We've got to, you know, everything's got to click a certain way, everything's got to be a certain way, and I disagree with that on a really fundamental level as a storyteller, as a writer. You know, even taking apart my profession, you know, working in marketing, just as somebody who likes to write and who likes world building, I completely disagree with the decisions that Insomniac makes in terms of storytelling, because it is very Hollywood decisions. Mystical Green Beanie says, Insomniac Jean having a mother-son relationship with Cyclops. I mean, that's what it feels like, because unless they change it in the final game, she's older than Scott. Miguel says, yeah, I guess that fits with the movie game take Sony is loving to do with their games. Unfortunately. And Sony is the biggest, Sony's super guilty. Sony is really super fucking guilty of that. And I fucking disagree with every decision that Sony does. And I disagree with Insomniac, because we have, I'm not going to show them because the names of the people involved, and I never wanted to cross that line when we did these leaks. But I have emails between Insomniac and Sony, are you know, and people arguing about decisions being made in Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. And I'm just, as somebody who, as a professional, I'm like, this is crazy that, like, you know, this kind of vetoing of these decisions to just really, I mean, in my opinion, harm the X-Men brand in the long term. Like, just shrinks the world. And Spider-Man 2, the same thing. I don't get it. I don't, you know, the amount of money that Insomniac spent on Spider-Man 2, and then what they asked for Wolverine, and then what they asked for Spider-Man 3, because again, we have all of that. Really shocking. Just really, really shocking. And I think it doesn't bode well for the game industry. I mean, this is why it's collapsing. This is why Sony doesn't have exclusives anymore. They can't afford it. Wolverine's not an exclusive. Wolverine is going to end up on everything. Well, at the very least, it's going to end up on PC. There is a I don't know, because again, this wasn't a decision, but this was a conversation. But there was a conversation that Sony had among other Sony employees above Insomniac, where Sony talked about launching Wolverine day and date on PC to get back the cost, because of how much Insomniac already overspent on Spider-Man 2 and how they were going to recoup that cost. Now, again, after all of these leaks, Insomniac had massive layoffs. that was one of Sony's answers. So I don't know what route they're going to take, because again, all these leaks cut off at December 2023, and it was after these leaks that Sony made the decision. Which again, we actually have the correspondence where they talked about laying off multiple employees across studios because of recouping costs, and Insomniac was specifically mentioned. And then of course they ended up doing that. Mystical Green Beanie says Arkham City and its consequences have been a disaster upon superhero games. Unfortunately, yeah. It was too good. It was too fucking good. Miguel says, "Oh, I'm really not excited for other parts of Spider-Man 3." Dude, that's a whole other live stream, because I got everything on Spider-Man 3. I've also got everything on that. Except that at the time of the leak, it didn't go into. There was no actual production, so it's not playable. There is no, like, I can't get any of the early previs of Spider-Man 3 to work, but I do have major story beats and character info. Like, I've got everything on Spider-Man 3. And I mean, maybe, okay, maybe everything isn't fair, because like the game wasn't even made. But 60%, depending on how much of it makes it into the final build of the game. But again, this is a Wolverine live stream, so I don't want to get distracted. Miguel says, still a really dumb, synergistic move on their part to have the Iron Spider legs in Spider-Man 2 for no reason. Oh, yeah. Again, like I said, that's a rabbit hole that we don't have time to go down. Hey, casual. It's a rabbit hole we don't have time to go down. Spider-Man 3, just all the info I have on Spider-Man 3 would require its own video. Like, 100%, which I'm fine doing. Hell, I mean, we got Spider-Man multiplayer. Like that, you know. TJ Maxx says, "Are you a brown and orange or a yellow and blue type of guy for Wolverine?" I'm the brown. I'm the brown. For me, it is the brown. I am nostalgic for the yellow and blue because that was my Jim Lee era. But yeah, there is something about that brown and orange look, especially going back to X-Men Evolution. Just looks fucking good, man. Just looks really fucking good. And again, hey everybody. So, oh, and here's, yeah, here is, we're gonna show this roadmap. So you see this one, and you see this one. We can go over both of them, but you can see there's not a huge amount of difference. Just a few things that got, you know. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So, Spider-Man 2 in 2023. Wolverine was originally in December 2023. Wolverine was scheduled to come out in 2025. Now again, we have another slide from. I have multiple slides. I want to preface this because this is important information to preface, because these cover months and months of talks with Sony. These slides have Wolverine releasing in 2025. We have another set of slides that have Wolverine releasing in 2026. So again, the original plan was for it to come out this year, and of course it was delayed. It will now come out in exactly 1 year. This shows this was newer because we also had a roadmap that had Venom on it. This was a newer one, and Venom and Silk and the multiplayer Spider-Man game were all removed from these next two roadmaps, which is what led me to conclude that all of those games were canceled. We eventually learned that not only was the Spider-Man 2 DLC canceled as the roadmaps predicted, but Silk and the Spider-Man multiplayer games were also canceled. So again, now we're just waiting to see, is Venom actually canceled? Venom was removed from this roadmap, and internally it appears as though it was canceled. We'll wait and see. Spider-Man 3 was going to come out in 2027 and 2028. We have documents for Spider-Man 3 that I can go into, where Sony and Insomniac, in an effort to get a bigger budget for Spider-Man 3, Insomniac suggested splitting Spider-Man 3 up into two parts. Not Sony, because if Spider-Man 3 releases like this, and we'll talk about this in the Spider-Man stream, this was not Sony's decision. Insomniac went to Sony because Sony said no to their budget, because Sony was like, you spent way too much money on Spider-Man 2. What are you doing? And Insomniac then wanted to spend more money on Spider-Man 3 for a smaller game, and Sony said no. And Insomniac sent back a pitch document that said, what if we split Spider-Man 3 up, and we do Spider-Man 3 Chapter 1 in 2027, and we do Spider-Man 3 Chapter 2 in 2028, and then in 2029, right before our license for Spider-Man expires, we put out the Spider-Man 3 Ultimate Edition that brings both games together. And Sony said, let's talk. And Sony did tentatively approve that. Again, we have all of that. So then in 2029, we have X-Men. Then we have Insomniac's agreement. Sony told them that they could produce a new IP if they made Spider-Man. So that is 2031. And then in 2033, we have X-Men 3. And yes, you'll notice it is called X-Men 3. That's because Wolverine is, in terms of the contract, Wolverine is X-Men 1. Just to be very specific here, Wolverine is technically X-Men 1. So Wolverine originally... and we'll see what happens, but originally Wolverine is supposed to launch in September 2026, and then 6 months or so later, the X-Men multiplayer is supposed to launch inside Wolverine, and that will bring together players people can play cooperatively in missions as Jean unites, as Jean forms the prototype X-Men group. And then that leads us into the proper X-Men game. And again, here is that document that then shows the multiplayer ambitions, including Spider-Man Online. That was, of course, canceled. Then we have Wolverine Online, which is the multiplayer. That's an evolution of the multiplayer that was being built for Spider-Man. And like I said, Wolverine Online is Jean Grey bringing together a group of mutants for the prototype X-Men. You and other players will take on missions across the globe. And then X-Men Online would launch with the first X-Men game, and that would be the proper, like, okay, here's the Blackbird, we're working for Xavier now, we've got funding, and then the X-Men, again, it just grows. So the idea is that the X-Men Online portion that starts after Wolverine would then be built into the other subsequent X-Men games, and that would conclude in X-Men 3. And in X-Men 3, the villain is Apocalypse. Apocalypse and the Four Horsemen would be the entire plot of X-Men 3. Because again, we have a lot of brief notes and all kinds of layouts and stuff for their broad strokes for their X-Men games, and then the license would conclude. Kaz says, do you think Insomniac will continue to make these planned X-Men games and new IPs? I don't know. It depends on money. Like, the gaming industry is so different now, and it's 2 years later and it's different. I assume if Wolverine's successful, we're going to get the X-Men games, because I don't see why not. Insomniac is contracted for 3 X-Men games, so that's Wolverine and then X-Men and X-Men. So I don't see why not. Miguel says, can't wait for the Insomniac exclusivity to end so we can get some other Spidey games. We're almost there. 2029. Miguel asks, what's the situation for Professor X then? Professor X does run, again, it seems really dumb to do it this way. Xavier does run the Xavier Institute. Jean Grey, though, is instrumental in getting the X-Men active. Again, the Xavier Institute exists. It is a school. It's kind of a hidden school, but there are no X-Men. It's Jean Grey who creates the X-Men, and the name is born from Team X and the Weapon X program. Jean Grey is the reason we get the X-Men. I don't know the specific details of how she's going to get with Xavier and how and why Xavier exactly starts funding her with all of this, but I know that it is it's there's a school, there's Jean and her group of mutants that survive, that form a team to help other mutants. Xavier somehow finds them, because again, I don't got all this minutia detail, but Miguel says, weird, it's Jean and not Scott and Xavier. I mean, you just got to live with it, man. That's what they're doing. Like, at least that's what they were doing in December 2023. You just got to live with it. That's what they're doing. All of it so that they could have a love story, and that you know, and they aged up Jean so that it wasn't creepy. Still creepy. Sorry. Still fucking weird to do that. Miguel says 2029. I thought it was 2028. Spider-Man 3 Ultimate Edition is due to come out in 2029. So 2029 is when they'll finally lose exclusivity. Let's see. Kaz says the Venom game did get canceled. Is there any hope for them to revive it? I don't see the logic of Sony doing it. It either really was canceled, and that's why it was taken off all these roadmaps. It either really was canceled at some, you know, in December 2023, or it was never canceled and it's coming out. We just have to wait and see. You know, I don't see how they're going to fit a Venom game with the budget and with Spider-Man 3. I don't see how a Venom game fits, because Spider-Man 3, like, we're supposed to get Wolverine in 2026, and then we're supposed to get Spider-Man 3 Part 1 in 2027. I don't see how a Venom game fits into that anymore. Unless, because Insomniac's contract is specific. December 2023, Insomniac signed a contract. They lose Spider-Man in 2029. Period. So, did Sony pay for an extension? I don't know. If it happened after December 2023, I don't fucking know. But the fact of the matter is, the court document, the official court document says they lose Spider-Man in 2029. They're running out of time to get Spider-Man 3 Part 1 and Part 2 out. And they're not going to release Spider-Man 3 in the same calendar year as Wolverine. I don't even think they would release Venom in the same calendar year as Wolverine. So the question becomes, okay, what are they going to do with their time? And I just don't see how it works. I just don't see how they do it. I mean, unless Sony paid for a license extension. And if they did, then we're fucking screwed, because it's going to be forever. Sorry, got a text. But yeah, so, you know, I always like to stress, and I know I can get really repetitive, but I just like to constantly stress this and repeat it, because, you know, words get twisted and people don't listen. But we have the court documents. We know when the Spider-Man contract exclusivity expires. We know when Spider-Man 3 has to be out by. They either got an extension. Sony would have to have paid Marvel for that. I don't know if Sony is in that boat to do that right now. And again, maybe that's my biases, and I freely admit I'm putting a perspective on that. But I don't see where Venom fits in, because Wolverine in 2026, and then Spider-Man 3 in 2027. And Spider-Man 3 Part 2, if they're still doing the two-parter, and they got approved for the two-parter, so I don't see why. And we can go into super detail on that, but not in this live stream, because I wanted to keep this focused on Wolverine and not go crazy with the amount of time. But yeah, I've got every Spider-Man 3 slide. I've got the villains. I know who the villain is. I know who another one of the villains might potentially be. I've teased it before, and I've said it before, even on Patreon live streams. But I'll happily repeat all of that in a public live stream that's specifically for our big Insomniac Spider-Man leaks. Miguel says, I would have honestly have preferred the story of this game to be basically what Logan was doing before he joined Charles, to be a teacher to the first class like in Evolution. I agree. And the love interest could have been Storm instead of Jean. I agree. Insomniac's racist, though. If you notice, Storm ain't a part of shit. There wasn't even like talk of Storm in like the pitches for the first X-Men game. Now again, that stuff can change, you know, but it still looks racist. Insomniac Games production presentation. Again, this is the I-33 production overview. We can go over this real quick. Intro. These are the inspirations for Wolverine. Which seems really silly, but Well, she ain't in the Wolverine game, and she wasn't in any of the email. She wasn't mentioned in any of the email correspondences when they talked about the X-Men game. I mean, that, again, doesn't technically mean anything, and I am deliberately being facetious so I can call them racist, because, again, I'm deliberately reading into it negatively. But I am having fun. I can't help it. Like, I disagree with a lot of Insomniac's decisions, so I can be facetious. This is their intro for their inspirations for Wolverine. You'll see Tomb Raider, you'll see Spider-Man, you'll see God of War, you'll see Smurfs. I don't get all of that, but, fuck it. Yes, it is the Smurfs. And this is our, again, this has been posted for ages. So this is our leak. Like, this is ours. And I've been telling this to anybody. Obviously, we have a very small, we have a intimate community, but planned 2026 release. Major milestone dates in progress with Sony and Marvel. Production, milestones 13 through 19. Milestone 13 is specifically what we've been playing. Internal alpha build was supposed to be completed by summer 2025. It was, because we got an announcement. So again, literally alpha build fall 2025. They're on schedule. So like everything we have right here, like, you're welcome. You've had this information for years before anybody else. Anyway. Here's the milestones. Again, milestone 13 from December 2023. Exactly what we've been playing. Every milestone has a list of goals, a planning week, a GSD week, an SLT build, and branch, and then stability week. There you go. Again, all of this, everything. Like, you've had access to all this for years. Generally, confirm work for the week, communicate, feedback, confirm and review. Excuse me. Gate approvals. All content has phases of development. Missions, design doc, first playable, functional, representative. When completing a phase, content goes through gate approval. Reviewed against gate criteria, signed off by project approvers. This is a crucial step to our production. It also can lag because some of these gate approvers are assholes. Again, just based on emails. Team structure. We are great when we have focused goals and ownership. Assembled a team structure that partners similar content together, gives clear lanes of ownership, accountability, and goals. I'm sorry, I don't like it's so corporate. I can't help it. I don't like it. And this is also like, now again, we saw conversations between employees, not just leadership, but we saw emails between employees that were really bitching about leadership. Those names will never get out. Hopefully hopefully they weren't a part of the layoffs, but it's funny to see this and to see the perspective on what these 4 lanes and what this accountability does, because it dries up creativity. Like, I just, again, I've been in too many meetings back in the day. I have my own perspective on this, and it's just generally negative. 4 lanes, each lane has a director and a lead and a manager. See? I mean, like, really, look at that. That's too many leads. Like, really think about that. Each lane has directors, leads, and managers, and PMs. That's too much. A PM is a production manager. That's too much. Combat, Logan, Jean Grey and allies, enemies and bosses. Strike team, solve and dissolve. Strike hero enemy fidelity. Miguel is asking, do you prefer Storm with T'Challa or Storm with Logan? I prefer Storm with Logan. Fuck T'Challa. This feels a lot like Dan, especially when you read it like that. Dan was corporate. I'm sorry. Like, not only was he like really riding Baldoni's dick, which was a weird thing for him to do. Like, I don't understand why he kept defending Baldoni. It was weird because he was getting wrapped up in, I don't know. I don't know if he was I don't know if he was right wing or whatever. I'm not right wing. Like, I'm not. Like, welcome to the woke league, motherfucker. But it's like, Dan was corporate. Every time he talked about story, it was corporate, and it just. It made me argumentative, and it made me defensive, because I've been in meetings. I've been in meetings where I had to argue story to someone who had no place being in that fucking room. Like, you can't market this. This isn't good. This isn't entertaining. Like, I'm telling you right now, if you do this, I don't want to market it. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to have any part of it. Now, I'm not going to tell you what those projects were. You might be able to guess some of them if you know me. But one of them was a property that I fucking love. Love, present tense. I love this property. And I was like, I'm not working on this. I'm not working on this. I hate every decision you're making. Anyway, but it really does. It riles me up. And Dan, every time Dan talked about story, he always did it in a corporate way. And I'll call out anybody. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I will call out anybody. The only people I will not call out are employees who info gets leaked. But anybody in my comments, anybody who comments in my live stream, yeah, you are free willing it to get called out. If you leave a comment, that's it. That's it. You're in it to get called out. But it's like, fuck corporations, fuck corporate leadership controlling story and negative. It's bullshit. I don't like it. It fucking annoys me. And I don't like talking story with people who are so fucking corporate. I don't like it because it's not creatively driven. I had a meeting with a publisher who was like, we love your book. We love your manuscript. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, you love my manuscript. That's great to that's awesome. And so I was like, okay, this is going to be great. This is going to be an easy meeting because I submitted my manuscript and they were like, no, we absolutely love it. Could you tone it down? What? Like, what do you mean tone it down? Well, it's really vulgar. I'm like, yeah, that's how I talk, so it's how I write. Like it's my personality's is literally it's my blood. Like every fucking page, like that's my personality. The book, and they were like, yeah, but mainstream books don't talk like that. They don't read like that. I'm like, mine fucking does. Mine fucking does. And they said, we can't. There's no way we can publish this. I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to publish it. That's totally fine. But no, that's I'm not gonna. I will not edit it myself or have anybody else edit out like the vulgarity of it. That's it. It is bled into the book. So yeah, I have a bias 100% against corporate people in creative meetings and not letting the story speak for itself, and too many leadership roles like, oh, okay, I approve it. We got to get the other leader to approve it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is this a church? You got a pastor for this. You got a pastor for that. What the fuck is going on? How many fucking people have to approve this fucking cinematic? This is taking weeks. And like, you're sitting there and it's like, am I going to be able to use this in a trailer? Like, is this fucking, is this fucking anything I can use? Well, we don't know yet. What about his look? Can you confirm that I can use this look in market? We don't know yet. When are you going to know? When the fuck are you going to know? It could be a couple of weeks. What schedule is this? Like, what the fuck? I can't comfortably build anything out. Anyway, I digress a little bit, but I fucking hate the game industry. I hate the mainstream AAA game industry. I fucking hate it. I hate what Sony and Microsoft created. Nintendo's not like this. I love Nintendo. I love Nintendo of America. They're so easy. That's what she said. They're so easy and so polite. And they respect people. And you answer to one fucking person. And it's so nice when like teams only answer to one people instead of 6. Anyway, let's continue. Team structure. Scaffolding, formalizing a process we already use, putting a stake in the ground to iterate from here. Dedication and focus. Reduces the number of meetings and PMs and directors to talk to. If it doesn't, tell us. Close group for making decisions and better understand scope. Every lane needs each other to make a full game. But none of this means working in a silo. And then here's what it's supposed to look like. Oh, here's all of our groups of teams. But see how narrative can go and talk up to the missions team? See, we're not all alone. Fuck you. Next steps for Milestone 13. Every pod will have clear goals and identified roles. Every developer is assigned to one lane, and we'll keep iterating. There's that word. Remember that word, iterating, when you're working in game development. I don't want to be on camera when I say this. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I fucking hate the word iterating. I fucking hate it. I hated it in meetings. I fucking hate that word in any slideshow. It sucks, and it's never a good sign. It's why games from Sony and Microsoft take almost a decade to make one thing. Anyway, we'll keep iterating on the process with goals of focused work, ownership, responsibility so that we can fire you, scope and partners, and we want you to take ownership so that we can fire you when things don't go our way upstairs. The point partners. The production expectations. Keep it stable. Always keep the game running. Play the game. Take time off. Don't burn out. Take some PTO. Interesting here, because see, we have the leaks. And so, like, you have this, but then we have the truth, because we saw the emails. And we also have former Insomniac employees who attested to this not being true, to really terrible, shitty working conditions. And they fucking hated it to the point where they literally got laid off from Insomniac and they no longer work in the game industry. Team structure. I fucking hate it. Production expectations for everyone. Again, for everyone, not just the managers. Communicate on Slack. Fucking hate Slack. In pods. Engage in meetings. Communicate and approve changes. Ask questions. Communicate to other pods and departments with PM. Use Jira. Task tracking, estimating, workload balancing, and prioritizing. Be accountable. Achieve deadlines and gates. If we don't understand why you're not achieving these deadlines and gates, communicate and plan to catch up. Every week counts. Every milestone counts. The next step, when you have questions, message your director, your lead, your manager, or your point PM. That includes rumors. I heard X was changing. X is changing, Daniel. X is changing, but it's for the good of the team. Milestone 13, full scope assessment for narrative and macro changes. Mission demo, production plan with gates for all downstream departments, tech requirements, and cinematics. Work and scope towards a true alpha. Post-alpha strategy with learnings from Spider-Man 2. And just make a fun Wolverine game. Have fun. Have a good time. But be accountable so that we can fire you. Anyway, I don't like fakers, and I don't like the fakeness of these kind of things, especially now that it's come out about how shitty it was working at Insomniac by some of these people. This is really fake, And anytime in the game industry, accountability and all these things about being responsible, it's really just a way of easily letting you go and laying you off so you don't get a package. If the game is successful, it's a way to get you out of your bonus. It's all really manipulative. They want it to feel like a team. They want it to feel like a family, but it's 600 people. And to be honest, you're not. You are just in a pot. And all this stuff never trickles down. There's too many fucking leads to answer to. There's too many just ultimately really, really shitty decisions being made by people that shouldn't be making them because they have no fucking creative spirit whatsoever. And they don't care about the people, and they don't give a fuck about the work going into it. And that's why Wolverine has been in development since 2020. And sure, blame fucking COVID all you fucking want. But that's only part of the problem. People could have worked from home comfortably if there was good leadership. But when you're working from home and you have 6 leaders in just one little fucking pod, you love that word pod. When you have 6 leaders in one pod, you got a piece of shit. I disagree with large teams. I disagree with hundreds of teams. I disagree with hundreds of people working on one title. Everything gets lost. It's not personal. It's really impersonal. And again, all they want is slaves. They don't want you being creative. They don't want you expressing yourself. They want you just being accountable so that they can get you at the end. And fuck them. And that was an Insomniac presentation, not a Sony one. Because again, I'll go after Sony any fucking chance I can get because Sony's a bunch of cunts just like Microsoft. But this was Insomniac leadership. And it's insincere. It's cold. And when you read it with context and with age and knowing, it's bullshit. Fuck this industry that uses people and then tosses them aside. There's a reason when people get laid off, they don't stay in the game industry. I mean, there really is. Okay. Every time you use that voice, man, don't you get fired if you do that, though? If you do what? You're too vague. And I just read a lot. Miguel says, not gonna lie, the story doesn't seem very creative. It doesn't in my opinion. It doesn't in my opinion. I'm an X-Men fan. And I'm biased. I freely admit that. I can sit here on camera and say, I do have a bias. Like, this is Scott Summers' story, and aging up Jean Grey so that you could have a love story is creepy. You should have done an adopted daughter story. I think it would have been really cute, and I think it would have been really nice, especially just because of how dark it is. And maybe it would have been you could have had some moments of levity because Wolverine is so fucking dour, and it just makes it not interesting. And I don't mean levity as in like lol stupid moments, but real levity, like real life. Real life fucking sucks. It can be funny, though. Like, real life isn't a fucking genre. And people seem to miss that when they're creating story. Well, leadership who has an idea of things, and then people online who want everything boxed really neatly into specific genres, don't seem to really live. It's like they've never actually lived life. And life sucks. It really does. It's just shit. Life is shit. And you do the best you can to keep it from being total shit. And you try to surround yourselves with people that keep life from being shit. You don't want to surround yourself with people who make your life worse, right? And it's like, there is humor in real life. There is humor in really shitty things. Like, life can sometimes just be funny. Not funny in like a slapstick comedy way, not every time, but there are levels of humor to actual real life that can be reflected in a game and in a narrative like Wolverine, especially if you have the father-daughter story. And I don't want to hear about fucking Last of Us comparisons. Fuck you. It's not the same. Jean is a powerhouse. I can't. I'm sure there's a story out there that's a better analogy and that's a better analog to this. But yeah, pairing Logan with a powerhouse, 13, 14-year-old is more interesting to me. And would have been way more engaging and immersive versus a creepy love story, because it's creepy no matter what. Like, it is. The guy's super old, and I fucking disagree with it. I do not like the story in Wolverine. Pod people. Miguel says, especially because Wolverine always has adopted daughter types. He does, and I love those narratives, and it could have easily been Jean Grey if they weren't fucking pedophiles on the team. Miguel says, if you ask when X changed into Y and so forth, don't you get fired if you do that, though? Sometimes there are some studios that really take that hard. Like, how do you not know it was changed? We need to have a talk because it doesn't seem like you're keeping up with the team and with expectations and accountability if you don't know it changed. And bullshit like that. But things can change at such a last fucking minute in this development, especially in AAA development. That's why I fucking hate it. I hate the modern perspective of it, though. I hate how Americans in most countries do it, and I hate how most studios do it. It's really not this shitty in Japan. And again, I have a bias, but fuck you. I have an objective bias. I have a bias because I've seen it done. I know how they do it, and I know how they respect people. This kind of shit doesn't happen at Nintendo. Ever so often, it'll happen at a satellite studio with Square Enix, but that's just because Square Enix, they were too big for a while, but now they've sold off everything, and Square Enix has really cleaned up, and I've heard only good things about working at Square Enix now, and I've only ever heard good things about working for Kojima. So these people stay at these companies. Not only do you have veterans because Japanese studios respect people who have been in the industry for 30 and 40 years, and they keep them. It leads to a streamlined and better development because you're working with people who fucking know. Whereas Insomniac will lay off seniors as quickly as possible. Every Sony studio does, though. Every Sony studio will do their best to lay off older employees who have been in the industry because, one, they make too much money, and you can't make that much money because we have our executives, and they need another yacht. Fuck you. Kaz says, brother, you opened my eyes to the gaming industry. I'm not saying anything that probably hasn't been talked about in op-eds or in anybody's, social media, especially when they just got laid off and they're emotional and talking. But if I'm going to talk about a big game coming up like Wolverine, yeah, I'm going to let people know, like, it's shit. Like, you need to know. Miguel says Logan could have been the dad type, Jean the daughter type, and Storm the mom type. I disagree. Like, I want Storm in the X-Men game. Storm doesn't fit here narratively. Again, like I said, I have this headcanon because I wrote X-Men fan fiction when I was a kid. Haven't written it in a long time. I wrote it when I was a kid. But I literally had a story where, again, kind of based off X-Men Evolution, where Logan, there was no creepy love interest or anything like that. Logan, I took the love triangle and I subverted it so that there isn't a love triangle, and instead Logan kind of became a father to Jean, just so the spirit of their relationship, the spirit of that kind of thing that Logan had for Jean was there, but it was in a different way. And now as a dad, I want to see that actually carried forward narratively, and I think it works better. I think the other stuff comes off creepy. I'm tired of Jeffrey Epstein character archetypes. Like, Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump are not role models. Matt Gaetz isn't a role model either. Matt Gaetz is fucking creepy. I love that clip of Tucker Carlson realizing he's talking to a pedophile, where Tucker Carlson says, so this 17-year-old girl, and Matt Gaetz, not missing a beat, 17-year-old woman, Tucker. And Tucker just is like, you just know Tucker wants to just crawl under his desk. He's like, oh God, I chose the wrong side. I did it. I chose the wrong fucking side. You can see it in his face. I love that clip. I've shared it multiple times across social media. Are you going to play this game when it releases, or are you done with it? Well, I've played it. I played the whole thing. I'm not impressed with the story. I think the combat is really fun. I think the gore is going to look even better at the end, but I played it. I don't know. I'll play it when it goes on a steep Steam sale. Like, when it's on sale on Steam, or like I'll either wait for a big Steam sale, or I'll play it as soon as the X-Men multiplayer launches, if it still launches. I would do one of those two things, whichever comes first. But yeah, I am a PC gamer. I'm not buying a PlayStation 5. Fuck it. I'm not. I only have, that's a whole other story. I'm not going to get into that, and that's from a different time of my life, and so I'm not going to get into different things from other companies. But what I will say is, I I'm not getting a PS5. I'm not. It's fucking dumb. It's dumb too. Sony has literally told me they're not doing exclusives anymore. I'm not getting a PS5. I'm not getting an Xbox. Xbox has literally told me we're not doing exclusives anymore. I'm not going to get those. It's dumb. I'm not going to pay to play online when I can have a better experience on a computer that I built with my bare hands, that runs better than anything that they can build, and that will last longer than anything they build. No, I can do it my fucking self. Fuck you. I know more than you, and I'm going to do it my way. I feel very strongly about that. But yeah, I'm not fucking. So if the conversations that we have hold true and Wolverine launches day and date on PC and PlayStation 5, I'm still going to wait for a sale. I am not spending $80. I'm not, because I already played it, and it's not that long. And I know you played a broken game where all the side missions weren't in. Dude, with side missions, the game is, I mean, like Insomniac told us, with everything, side missions included, it is 15 hours. That's not, for me, and again, I say this as somebody who is very particular because I don't like the story to begin with. For me, the story not being what I want, nope, not for 80. If I'm going to spend 80, I gotta be more excited. If I'm going to spend $80, I gotta be more excited. I'll spend 80 on Metroid Prime 4. Fuck you. I'll spend 80 on Zelda, Mario, Metroid, because I know it's going to be good. I will spend $80. 100%, I will spend $80. Like, fuck it. It's not a single doubt in my mind. I will fucking do it. But I'm not going to get it on the paper. I'm not going to get a PS5. I'm not going to get the next Xbox. I'm not going to get the Xbox handheld. I'm not going to get a Sony handheld if they make it. I'm not going to fucking do that. I have my Switch 2 that I bought with my own money. Like, this was not given to me. I had somebody message me and ask me. I'm like, no, I don't have partnerships. What the fuck are you talking about? I bought this because I wanted it. I bought this because it's Nintendo. It's a good quality product. The thing works great. I love the games on it. Runs great. It's a lot of fun. Battery's good. Like, I'm happy with everything about that. But I have my Switch 2 and I have a PC. And every version of my PC, as technology, as better hardware comes out, I fucking build it. It's not being built by slaves in another country. Nintendo doesn't do that, but Sony and Microsoft both use slave wages, and effectively they, sweatshops to build their consoles. That's been wildly reported. I've shared the articles multiple times. Nintendo doesn't, but Sony and Microsoft do. I built this computer. I built it myself. I've built every version of this computer, and it plays better than anything Sony or Microsoft can put out. It plays better than the Nintendo Switch too, but Nintendo has games you can't get anywhere else. That's what matters to me. Sony doesn't. Microsoft doesn't, because they can't afford it anymore. Because their studios have games that are budgeted in $300 million, and it's like, this is crazy. But it's not sustainable, and Sony and Microsoft have learned that it's not sustainable, and so now they've both gone multi-platform. Nintendo is exclusive because Nintendo budgets accordingly. Nintendo budgets with the expectation, and this is smart. This is very smart, and people can say Nintendo is too careful and too nervous, but this is smart. Nintendo budgets with an expectation that they might only sell 1 million copies of a game. Think about that. And the reason I say think about that is because maybe you don't remember, because I know on average most people nowadays have a short attention span because you are constantly overloaded with news and information. But I will remind you, Nintendo's 1 million sales is considered a blockbuster sales success. Marvel's Avengers, in its entire lifetime, only sold 3 million copies. It was a massive financial failure. It nearly killed the studio that made it, and it forced them to cut countless hours of content that was half made and half finished that we leaked all of. Think about that. Marvel's Avengers, 3 million copies, a financial failure. Nintendo's 1 million copies, a blockbuster success. Who's doing it right, objectively? Does Marvel's Avengers, has that aged well visually? Does it look good? I don't think so. Even on my fucking awesome PC, no, it looks like shit. Donkey Kong Bonanza looks better. Super Mario Odyssey fucking looked better. And that came out in 2017 before Avengers. And it still looks better. Breath of the Wild looks better. There is no one, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but like right here, right now, objectively, I gotta fucking say this. There is no scenario, none, where you can tell me Marvel's Avengers visually aged well. It sold 3 million copies, and it was a financial failure. And it looked like that. Nintendo generally only needs to sell 1 million copies. Their games look better, have more personality, more character, better design, better levels, better platforming if you want to compare all these different aspects. It's every aspect of it is toned and prepared and clean, and it runs. And they can sell less and have a blockbuster success for their studios and teams. So, yeah, don't talk to me about fucking Nintendo. I'm sorry, but like, just don't. It's not. I will not get a PlayStation 5. I will not buy an Xbox. I will continue to build my PC with my own hands, and I will buy every version of a Nintendo console. Well, every new Nintendo console. I'm not going to buy another Switch 2. I never bought another Switch. My Switch from 2017, launch day, still works. My son is now, that's what my son plays on now. I always lose people when I get political or when I get to the hard truths. I'm okay with that, though. I also lost 3 subscribers. I'm okay with that. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. This is a reason why you either choose to walk a line, you either choose to avoid politics, you choose to avoid anything real or personal, and then people, then you don't have to worry. Both sides, people will watch and all that. I can't do that. I can't. When I lost my big giant channel and realized I wasn't limited by sponsorships or having to say the right thing to the right people or be nice to this or be nice when I review this, yeah, I'm not ever going back. I'm not ever going back. I don't care if YouTube doesn't grow. I'm not going to compromise. We are the woke league. That's it. Like, trans rights are human rights. And fuck this administration and how they're hurting people. And fuck ICE. I can go on and on. I don't care. I will literally, you want my opinion on something? I will tell you the truth because I can, because I don't have any sponsors to worry about. I will tell you the truth about everything. Speaking of Avengers, when will we see a proper one? Years from now. Years from now. It's done irreparable harm. Nobody wants the license. So I've been told. I don't know if somebody lied to me and they're secretly working on it, but Marvel tried to get somebody to buy the Avengers license after Square Enix. Nobody wants it. It's too expensive and it's not worth it because they were like, nobody made back their money. They poisoned it. Politics are inherent to storytelling. I absolutely agree. It's intrinsic. It's a part of it. Star Wars is political. Captain America's political. Superman's political. They've been political since their literal very first fucking appearances. Captain America punched Hitler. Fuck Nazis. Superman beat the shit out of Hitler. Fuck Nazis. Even in the face of Armageddon, never compromise. You said ICE, and I thought you were going to say ISIS. Well, fuck every terrorist organization too. I go on a list, man. Okay, we've been doing this for 2 hours. You got me political, and I went off on a tangent in our Wolverine video, but we got to wrap up. We have to wrap up. Okay. I want to do a Spider-Man live stream. Maybe tomorrow. It depends. For those of you who didn't watch, yesterday's live stream, I'm trying to reiterate information. We do have a new channel called DCU Archives. The DCU channel is going to host an exclusive story an exclusive live stream with exclusive news. There is a link in the Discord for DCU Archive, and I'm currently planning to go live on Sunday on our DCU channel. And again, everybody will be tagged on Twitter and in our Discord for that. and so that's going to be our first live stream on the DC channel. And then Friday and Saturday, I'm going out of town with a friend, and so I will not be live. Share this, please. I'm going to say it because misinformation will spread. We've had this information literally up on our Patreon since 2023. I've shown all of it to all of you. You can go over it, comb through all of it. But this is us. This is nobody else. This is us. And Wolverine comes out in 1 year. This is all us. So by all means, feel free to share this live stream. I would appreciate it. That's kind of it. And if you're here, hit the like button. Why not? Fuck it. Let's just spank that like button. Give it a little spank. And I'll answer this for Kaz. I did not find accessibility options. I didn't. Sorry. It's an easy answer, but I didn't. Doesn't mean anything because it was an incomplete. It's not like final, but it is what it is. Okay, yeah. I think that's it. If I have time, I'll be live tomorrow around the same time, and that we can do Spider-Man 3 tomorrow. I think we're pretty good. I'm going to chill. I got a phone call to make, and I'll be hanging out in the Discord while I'm on the phone and doing some writing, so I'll still be in the Discord. But I appreciate everybody taking the time, keeping the chat going. I really do appreciate that. Otherwise, I'd just be talking to myself in front of a camera, which I can do that too. I don't mind. But it's nice that people actually are like, oh, no, I'll get in here and chat. That's cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. I don't got anything. It looks like we're caught up. So, yeah. Again, one final time for people in the back. Trans rights are human rights. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Love all of you. Be nice to each other. Oh, one last thing. Holy shit, breaking news. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Look at me. Look at me. Look at your phone or look at me. Miguel.